Hi, this is Matt Clark, and welcome to Module 1. First off, I just want to say, wow, have you seen the community? We've just opened doors to this, and now the doors are actually closed, but only about 48 hours after we opened the doors, like the community and this membership was already buzzing. It's just absolutely amazing the caliber of people that are here. People anywhere from doing $2 million a year online on Amazon right now, all the way to people that have run other successful businesses and have never sold any physical products. We really have people all over the board, but everyone is so committed to making this work. The buzz is just absolutely amazing. I've been jumping in there, I'll be getting more involved, so will Jason now that the doors are closed, but I've been jumping in there, welcoming people, saying hi to people, seeing some really, really cool people in there. So if you haven't seen it yet, just go over and click on the community tab of your membership. There's already thousands of interactions happening every single day. Everyone is just so excited to be here, and I'm so excited that you are here because then we're going to be able to just dive into this with all that enthusiasm and energy and really get some insane results very, very fast. So this community, one of the biggest values out of it is it's your source for partnerships. One of the most valuable things in my business life has been forming partnerships with other like-minded and successful people. In fact, the whole reason you're here is from a set of partnerships. Partnerships with Jason and partnerships with our marketing partner. Otherwise, you all would not be here, we would not be here able to share this sort of information with you. Being able to partner with other people that are out there fighting for you. You both have a common set of interests. You're on the same business path. There's nothing like it in the world, in my opinion, because then you're no longer just in a hole by yourself, pumping away trying to do your own work. Now you have other people doing what you're not good at, or other people just working twice as hard as you are, which makes you want to work twice as hard. Partnerships are absolutely key in business. No matter how you end up using them inside of this membership, start thinking about forming partnerships right now. Whether that's a mastermind group to help each other stay accountable and be more successful, or whether or not you want to help each other find products to sell, or whether or not you want to team up on a product, or whether or not you want to help each other find suppliers or share suppliers, or maybe one of you is really good at graphic design and the other person's really good at writing sales copy. Maybe one person does all the images and graphics for the products and the other person does all the sales copy. You just swap services. Start thinking about how you can leverage the other successful people in this community. You won't find this sort of caliber of people all at a concentrated location anywhere else. Also, use the community for additional learning because we're going to give you a ton of information, solid tactics, solid strategies, basically everything we know about selling products on Amazon. But some things are always changing, and we haven't experienced every possible thing on Amazon. So look to the community for a source of additional learning. People have already been jumping in there, sharing lots and lots of good information, stuff that I may not experience myself, Jason may not have experienced. So see the community as a supplement for additional learning as well, and get inspired. One thing about trying to go out there and do this kind of stuff yourself is the whole reason the whole term accountability comes into play in self-help material is that if you're out there just doing stuff by yourself and you set a goal in your head, say, okay, I'm going to do this specific result by this specific date, and you don't tell anybody about it, then, maybe that date comes, or maybe a few days later, you're like, it's not that big of a deal. I'll just do this other thing instead. And then you end up in the cycle that a lot of people are in right now. Now, like I said, there's some extremely successful people. Maybe this isn't as much of a factor for you, but for a lot of people, especially that have been doing stuff in internet marketing for some reason, because you can get so sidetracked on the computer, I think, but a lot of people are in the cycle of they go out there and they get a ton of information. They learn a lot of stuff about SEO. They learn a lot of stuff about affiliate marketing, about blogging. They get all this information in their heads and they never do anything with it. You become the world's greatest expert at that information, but you have no practical experience in doing it. This whole program, the Amazing Selling Machine, is built to break that cycle. You may wonder sometimes why we're doing things we're doing, why we're structuring things the way we've structured them. Trust me, it's all to break that cycle and get you the biggest and best results possible. So see the community as another place for staying accountable to people. Go out there and tell people what you're going to do. I've seen people already doing that, which is awesome. Tell the other members what you're going to do. Here's my goal. I'm going to achieve it by this date. The funny thing is not only do you become accountable to other like-minded people that you look up to, but also other people start getting inspired because of that. And other people start sharing their resources with you because you put your name out there. You're no longer just a blank face that nobody hears from. Now you're somebody when somebody else thinks of, maybe a supplier resource, or maybe they found a great graphic designer, or maybe they found a great product to sell, but they just can't do it because they already have too much other stuff going on, then they'll think of you first. So go out there, put your face out there, get inspired, tell people what you're going to do to stay accountable. You won't find this sort of community anywhere else, and we're really fostering what's the absolute best community in the world for building this type of business with Amazon. So here's the focus of Module 1. Now you've had some great pre-class materials from the welcome module. You had the welcome video, then you had 3 story videos. If you haven't watched those, click on the welcome module, watch those right now. That's another great source of inspiration. Those guys have done incredibly well with this business. Then we also told you to go over to the member forum and post your introduction, and we gave you a little pre-class homework. So now you're ready for Module 1. So Module 1, really all about getting you in the game. Now, this course is structured to increase in intensity each and every module because we have to kind of get people in the game first, which in terms of selling physical products on Amazon means you have to have the ability to sell physical products on Amazon, meaning you have to get an account set up with Amazon Seller Central. For some of you, that'll take you 5 minutes. You may already have every single thing that you need to get that going. But for other people, maybe if you're overseas, you have to go through a few extra steps. There may be like a few day waiting period for you to get back from a few different people. We'll teach you how to do all that stuff, but that's why this module is the least intense out of all of them. Now, we're going to give you some great information. You can give some stuff that you're going to have plenty of time, trust me, to dive into, to make work, to really prepare you for Module 2. But Module 1 is all about getting you in the game. Because if you don't do this, then nothing else matters. If you are not able to sell physical products on Amazon, if you do not have your Seller Central account set up, then it doesn't matter what product you find. It doesn't matter what suppliers you find. None of that stuff matters. So we have to get you in the game first. So that's the main focus of Module 1. But then we also lay a foundation of how to look at this opportunity. Because a lot of people, even if you've already been selling on Amazon, you don't really know how to look at Amazon from the standpoint of tapping into the most lucrative business on Amazon. Now, I've done lots of different things on Amazon. I've sold physical books. I've sold Kindle books. I've done drop shipping where I'm selling other people's products. I've done all that stuff. The one business model which this entire course focuses on, which is selling your own brand of products, is the most lucrative, most scalable, and most sustainable business on Amazon, hands down. So this Module 1, after we've gotten you in the game, for some people it may take you the entire week to get that done. No problem, don't worry about it, we're here to help you. That's what this is all about. But for some of you, if it only takes you 5 minutes, then start diving into the other training videos in Module 1, where we teach you things about categories to avoid. We teach you more things about researching a niche. We teach you how to come up with 5 solid product categories so that when you get to Module 2, you're already ready to pick out your best-selling product that you're going to run with for the course of this 8 weeks. Because Module 2 is all about picking a hot product to sell. And you'll learn more about that in Module 1, actually, in the foundation videos. But you'll also learn, we're going to go really, really deep into that in Module 2. So you pick out a great product that you can run with. It's not something like, I've heard people ask, like, what if I have inventory that doesn't sell? Or, what if the product doesn't work out? Can't promise anything, but you can ask Jason as well, is we do not have products that don't work out. That's because we apply exactly what you're going to learn in Module 2. You're going to learn how to pick a winning product that you'll be able to run with for the long term right from the beginning. This is a product that you're going to be able to make fast money with, and a product that you're going to be able to keep and make money from for years and years and years. We do not pick products that do not sell well. Once again, can't promise, but that's what we're going to teach you exactly how to do. So Module 1, we're going to get you in the game, then lay the foundation of how to look at this opportunity. So what to do right after this video? Like I said, this entire program, the Amazing Selling Machine, is all about breaking the cycle of information then no action. We want you to take every little tiny piece of information we give you and take some action with it, because that's where the life-changing value comes from. So the first thing you're going to want to do, go post your member introduction in the forum. Jason and I have become successful in part because of our desire and ability and willingness to put our faces out there. We put our faces out in the public. We send out emails. We do things on Facebook. We do things with business partners. We're constantly putting our faces out there. This is one way for you to do it among some very successful people. Post your member introduction in the forum. You just go over to the community tab in your membership. You'll see the instructions for posting a new member introduction. If you haven't done that, do it right now. If you already have done that, go over and introduce yourself to some people. You see somebody else that's posted a member introduction saying, hey, it's nice to meet you. Awesome to have you with me, have you with us. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. Do that sort of thing right after this video. That's number one. So the second thing you want to do is you want to make sure you've done all the pre-class items from the welcome tab above. These items are extremely important. They're really going to help you grow this business. You do not want to skip these. So do these right now before you dive into any other videos in Module 1. Then the third thing, prepare yourself for diving into this program. This is going to be pretty intensive. Like I said, it increases in intensity each and every week. We didn't get you in here so that we can give you a bunch of information and say, okay, we'll help you do something with it. We're here to coach you. We're here to train you to get value out of this program, this business, and anything else you do in the future. Jason and I are, self-improvement nuts. I know I can speak for myself that I've read every self-improvement book on the planet, every time management book on the planet, been to every seminar, every conference, talked to everybody I possibly could, all because I wanted to get results faster than other people and bigger than other people. And you're getting all that information, all that training built in right here, on top of being able to build a successful business using a proven model that works extremely well, works for anybody, and works right now. And that, of course, is selling real products on Amazon. So prepare yourself for diving into this program. A big tip is to have an organized place for taking notes. Whether that be on a notepad, you go buy a nice shiny new notepad and literally write stuff with your pen, or you could start using a note-taking tool like Evernote, or Microsoft Word, any sort of thing. Just come up with an organized way to take notes so that you can constantly refer back to that. It's really going to serve you well for years and years and years. So prepare yourself for diving into this program. Some of you may have every waking moment of your day to work on this. Some of you may only have an hour or 2 hours a day because you already have a full-time job, you have a family. Trust me, this will work for anybody. Jason, when he started this business, he had a wife, he has 2 kids, he had multiple businesses, he kept himself very, very busy, but he was able to make this work and make it work very, very big. So anybody can literally do this. So prepare yourself. This is going to be an awesome ride.
Hi, my name is Rich Henderson and I am the Chief Mentor for the Amazing Selling Machine program. This video is going to explain what the mentors are and also how to get the most out of them. To extend the support base that all our members have access to, back in October we decided to create an elite group of mentors to help inside the community and the Facebook group. We contacted a number of our most successful members and asked them if they would be willing to help out, and we were absolutely delighted by the response. These mentors are there to help every member succeed and answer any and all questions that they can. But please remember, they are members just like yourself and are giving their time freely and are not getting paid for doing this. So please treat them with respect and remember they have their own amazing selling machine businesses to run too. To ensure everyone gets the most from this wonderful resource of successful members, we have a few guidelines to follow. If you have a question you would like answered, then all you need to do is post your question in the community or in the Facebook group and it will be answered. Do not private message the mentors asking questions. We need to respect their time and they have been instructed not to deal with non-public questions unless in extreme circumstances. And by non-public, we mean questions that are not posted in the forum or the Facebook group. It is a very simple process and has been working fantastically since we put it in place in October, so please do follow the simple guidelines. As I said, the process is very simple. You post your question, one of the mentors sees the question and posts in the thread and answers it. If that particular mentor doesn't know the answer, then they post a link to that question in our private mentors group and any mentor or mentors who know the answer will go and answer it. The reason this works so well is because the member asking the question is probably not the only member who needs that question answered. So when it is answered in public, in the forum or the Facebook group, it means all members have access to it, and the mentors do not get inundated with private messages with the same questions. So please do respect that. Also remember that we have a huge community of successful members that really are like a big family. And the odds are one of them might answer your question before a mentor even sees it. And hopefully this philosophy also applies to you. If you happen to know an answer, please do post the answer. The Amazing Selling Machine works so well, not just because of the awesome training and software, but the incredible community that has grown from it. Now, you will be able to recognize the mentors by the tag mentor in their profile, and will also notice their names are blue when you see them in threads. Lastly, if you have a question that does require your privacy, then you can private message me and I will help. But please only do that if it contains material you do not want in the forum. So, just to recap, the mentors are volunteers, so please respect the time they're giving for free to this community. Post any questions in the community or the Facebook group. Do not private message them. So, do you have a question right now? If so, then get into the community, see if it has been asked already, and if not, go ahead and ask it, and a mentor will be there to help you out. But that's it for this video. Take care.
Hi everyone, Mike McCleary here, and this video is going to show you how to use another part of your Amazing Academy membership, the community forums. These forums are incredibly valuable. They provide a way to get more specific information about the training, they allow you to communicate with other members, and they give you a way to ask additional questions that you might have. To access the forums, you simply select the community icon at the top of your dashboard. One thing to note is that the forum software that we use is incredibly powerful and flexible, and it offers a lot of different options and customizations. However, it's important to not get caught up in all these different options that you have available to you, and instead just focus on the few key features that allow you to get everything you need from the forums, and that's finding information, communicating with your fellow members, and asking questions. Remember, your task at hand is to quickly build your very own Amazon business, and that's what we want to make sure to keep you focused on. When you first go into the forums, you'll see three different buttons at the top. These are the user control panel, the number of new private messages that you have, and a button that'll show you any posts that you have already written. This is extremely helpful for checking back and seeing if anyone might have responded to any of the posts or topics that you've made. To the right of these buttons is the search bar, which is a very powerful tool for searching on any types of questions or topics that you want to find inside the forums. Simply place your cursor inside of there, type in the search phrase, and then select the magnifying glass, and all the posts that match your search terms will be listed below. Below the buttons, you'll see the various sections of the forum that you have available to you. As you can see here, I only have access to a few sections of the forums right now. That's because the forums are tied directly to your training schedule, and you only get access to those sections that are relevant to the modules that are open to you. This way, you don't get distracted or overwhelmed with any questions or topics that haven't even been taught to you yet. Now back up top, you'll find the User Control Panel button, and this is where you can adjust all different types of features and options. But again, none of that is necessary. Everyone's default options have been set up so that you can leave everything as is in the control panel and still get everything you need to out of the forums. However, if you do want to explore them a bit, there are notes above every feature that describe all of its functionality. And fortunately, should you ever go ahead and accidentally set something and mess up one of your settings, all you need to do is hit the reset button and all of your functions and features will be set back to their default settings. The private message section is where you can both send and receive individual messages from and to other members, much like any other email or messaging service. There are two ways to send a private message, and one of them is to select the new PM button from within here. That'll bring up the Compose Message dialog box. From here, you can enter the name of the member you're communicating with, type in your message, and then hit Submit to send the message. However, since you have to know the exact username of the person you're trying to send your message to, this isn't always the easiest way. When we go into the posts of the forums themselves, I'll show you an easier way to send a message to any other member who's already posted in the forums. The other sections of the private message area are pretty self-explanatory and function just like any other email or messaging service, including an inbox, your outbox, sent messages, and any unread message that you've received but not yet read yourself. The rules, folders, and settings are some of the more advanced features that I mentioned earlier, but you don't need to worry about those as you really don't need to use them at all. Now let's go back to the main forum index and cover a few important topics, such as posting your own questions, responding to someone else's question, and searching the forums for topics that you have questions on. But first, I want to show you where to find the rules for the forums themselves. Under New Member Introductions, you'll find a topic called Important, Forum Rules, Please Read. Inside there, you'll find a post by our Chief Mentor, Rich Henderson, that covers some very important rules that we all need to follow and keep in mind. These forums are designed to be a safe resource for all members looking to get assistance, share ideas, network, and collaborate with others. And any violation of these rules can result in your post being deleted and your membership privileges being suspended. So be sure to read up on these prior to posting any new topics or comments. While we're in here, I'll go ahead and show you that second way that I mentioned to you earlier about how to send a message to another member. Anytime that you see a post by another member, you'll also see a tiny private message icon right below their picture. Clicking on that will automatically create a message addressed to the member. In addition, it'll also automatically include the text from within the post that you were just reading, in the event that your message is related to that post. If you simply wanted to send them a message, feel free to go ahead and delete all the text in there. Now, since I don't really want to bother Rich right now, I won't send him the message, and I'll just go back to the previous page. Speaking of that, if you ever do want to get back up to the top level of the forums at any time, there are a couple different ways to do that. One way is simply to click on the community icon at the top of your screen. Another way is to utilize the jump to functionality that's always present in the forums. This line right here, it'll show you exactly where you are inside the forums. And also, if you click on the board index, it'll take you back to the top level of the forums. The next item that I want to cover is how to create your very own post in the forums. In order to do this, you first select the area that you want to create your post in. For this example, let's go into New Member Introductions and finally introduce ourselves. Once inside that section, you select the New Topic button at the top. From here, you enter in the subject of your post, and then the message you want to type in. And let's even add in a little smiley face. Once you're done, all you do is click the Submit button. Then after a few seconds, your post will be created and it'll show it to you right there on the screen. Now that we've created a post, let's go back to the board index and check out a few other features. One feature that's very helpful is having the ability to subscribe to topics that you find interesting and want to stay up to date on. So first, let's find one. We'll go into the Module 1 General Discussion, and then right at the top, here's one called Critical Forming of Groups. That sounds pretty interesting to me. You click on that, and then at the top, you'll see several different buttons up here. The first one is the Subscribe button, and when you select that, you'll automatically be subscribed to this topic, and anytime anyone makes a comment or posts a reply to this topic, you'll get a message so that you can come back into the forums and you can check out and see exactly what else someone has added to that conversation. If at some point in time you no longer want to pay attention or be notified, all you need to do is select that button again, and that will unsubscribe you from that topic. Next to that button is also the Bookmark button. So let's say you come across several different topics that you want to be able to reference back pretty easily instead of searching through the forums. All you need to do is hit the Bookmark button, and it creates a bookmark, which you can then find inside your control panel. You can bookmark as many of these as you want, and think of it as a way to keep track of all the different topics that you found very interesting to you over time, and so you can easily reference them. And again, just like with the subscribe feature, if you want to remove that bookmark, you simply check the same button again, and it will go ahead and take that out of your bookmark list. Now let's go back up to the board index and cover just a few more items before the lesson's over. The forums give you several ways to keep up to date with what's been going on in them, especially since your last visit. If you follow my mouse, I'll show you how to access those. The first one is viewing unanswered posts. Selecting this will bring up a list of all posts that have been created by members, but where they have yet to receive a reply to. This is a great way to go in and read some of the questions they might have and see if you can actually answer them. Remember, the forums aren't just for getting information, but also giving back and sharing information whenever possible. Next to that is viewing of unread posts. Unread posts are topics and replies that have not yet been viewed by you, and selecting this will bring those up. Similar to that is viewing of new posts. These will show you all new posts that have been created since the last time you visited, but that you also have not seen. And lastly is viewing of active topics, which is really a combination of the previous two, all unread posts and new posts. The last item that we'll cover is how to view your own posts. By clicking on the View Your Post button, it'll bring up a list of every post that you've ever created. As you can see here, here's the post that we created earlier tonight, and it'll show us how many people have viewed it and whether or not there's been a reply. And as we can see here, there has been, and it'll also tell you who was the last person to reply. This is very helpful because if you've asked a question in the forums and you want to find out if someone has answered it, clicking on the View Your Post button will show you those posts and exactly who has replied and when they were able to reply. Now that's it for this training video, but if you still have any questions at all, feel free to ask them below this video. Or, even better yet, now that you know how, feel free to go over to the forums and ask them over there. Thanks and have a great day.
So now I'm going to give you an overview of your Amazon business launching timeline from wherever you are to building a wildly successful Amazon business. First off to think about is why you're here. Are you here to build a massively successful Amazon business, one that's absolutely huge, or are you here just initially to replace a current income? Maybe you want to build this business in some extra time you have. Think about that, write it down, because that's going to get you able to build the best Amazon business for your current situation. You may not want to scale this thing massively, multiple products, all that kind of stuff. That may not be your goal. Your goal may be just to have one good solid product that you optimize that makes you a ton of money on autopilot. That's a very different goal than building a massive business. So think about what you want. That's going to help you laser focus on what this training has to offer, because this can work for any business model. We're teaching you how to build a successful Amazon business. The size, the scale, the automation is really up to you. And once again, our purpose here is just to get you results. We want nothing more than every single one of you to be successful with this. That's our plan, that's our goal, and that's what we're here to deliver. Part of this, obviously, is us giving you the absolute best training, best tools, structuring the course so that it's built for you taking action, but then also you have to do something. You have to do the action steps we recommend. You have to take the training and implement it right away, not waiting until you get done with the course to finally do something. Implement stuff right away, and you will get the results because we're handling everything else. Also, once again, we're here to break the cycle, that cycle of getting information without action. We are giving you bits of information, having you take some action. Bits of information, having you take some action. That's really the best way to build something new. So, also want you to know that a lot of you have, because of that whole cycle, a lot of you all have built skills in SEO, built skills in PPC, affiliate marketing, building blogs, Facebook marketing, all those kind of things. It doesn't really matter what it is because they're all mainly ways of getting traffic or building a list. Those things are not wasted. The interesting thing is those things are all based on how to get traffic, how to build a list. What we're teaching you is not only how to sell a product very, very well, probably more effective than anything else out there on Amazon, but we're teaching you how to create your own product to actually sell. So all those other skills you've learned can now come into use for promoting your own product. You're no longer building somebody else's business. You're building your own wildly successful business because it's your own products. This is a huge shift in going from a short-term marketing loophole, making a little bit of money, to building massive wealth and building something that's sustainable in your own product as opposed to promoting somebody else's. So first, you want to know where you're going. We've created an awesome little tool called the Daily Units Sold Calculator. So first off, you're going to choose an income goal. Pick something that maybe you already want to replace an existing income, or maybe you have a goal for a higher income. Either way, pick your yearly income goal. then this tool is automatically going to compute the number of units you need to sell per day to meet your goal. Now doesn't take into account, it's not a full accounting system, obviously, but it's a great thing to keep in mind. It's something I use in my business every single day, even though I do about $350,000 a month on Amazon. I use this tool every single day because I want to know my exact daily profit, how many units I'm selling each day, and how that relates to my goals. So this is a great tool. It'll help you wrap your mind around what this business can actually do for you. So you're going to want to go ahead and use that right after this video. You're going to use it as a guiding post while following the launching time lane. So then you can see whereabouts you are. Maybe in module 4, you start selling 10, 20 units a day. Well, you're like, wait a minute, to hit my goal, I need to be selling, 30 or 40 units a day. Okay, I need 10 more units. Then module 5, you start applying the promotion stuff. So when you start applying that, you're like, okay, I want to hit this next income goal, so I need to sell this many more units per day. This is a great tool, great thing to think about. Calculating daily profit, daily units sold has really been one of the most valuable things in managing my businesses. So here's the ASM business launching timeline. First thing, you need to set up your Seller Central account. This is all in Module 1. This is the first big action step. Second one is picking a great product opportunity in Module 2. And as you know, these modules are outlined in weeks. So that's Module 1 is week 1, Module 2 is week 2. So then third step is to choose a supplier. That's in Module 3. Fourth step, you're going to add your listing and order your initial inventory. Very, very small amount just to get you in the game. That's in Module 4 or Week 4. Module 5, you're going to launch your product with the listing launch formula. This is really going to catapult your Amazon success and really take your results through the roof. Then in Module 6, we give you the unfair advantage with some killer traffic strategies that nobody else is using on Amazon. That's in Module 6. Then you're going to build your profit, operations, and review systems. So profit, operations, and review systems, that's what Module 7 is all about. That's your next big action step there. Then Module 8, you're going to start expanding your Amazon business. So that's in the last week of this. That's when you really start thinking about how can I rapidly expand this thing beyond even Amazon. You start building your product brand so that it's a real valuable asset, not just something that's generating a ton of sales and money for you. It's a valuable asset that you can take other places outside of Amazon, other places online, and do some really, really cool things with it. So a big question people have is how long will it take until I make some amount of money? How long will it take until I start generating sales? All of these kind of questions. It's a good question to ask. I used to ask those same exact questions myself when I would start an online training course or go to a seminar. I'd be like, okay, how long is it going to take until I start making this amount of money based off of what I learn and what I do here? So our goal is that you will be making sales by week 4. That's our goal. You got to follow what we teach you. You got to do the action steps when the action steps occur. So don't wait till module 4 to do all the stuff from module 1, 2, and 3. Do them on time. Do them right now. Work hard. So our goal is to get you making sales by week 4 and big profits by week 8. Obviously can't promise anything. It's going to depend on some other things. So here's what the size and speed of your success depends on. Focus. You have to focus on this. Quit following shining objects. This is the best business model. It wasn't hype when we told you that this is the best business model online right now. That is not hype. It is absolutely true. There is no other business where you can build something this profitable this fast. So focus on this. You may have other family obligations, other work obligations, that sort of thing. But aside from that sort of essential stuff, focus on this and you will get results. Commitment. Do never give up, never quit. This system works. Don't ever think that, oh, this just doesn't work. That's not true. That's you giving up. That's you quitting. This system does work. It can get you results. It has gotten Jason and I results. It's gotten other people we know results. So do not give up. Jump in the forum if you ever need some support. Say, hey guys, I'm having trouble with this. Send in a support ticket. Jump on a weekly live coaching call. Really go above and beyond and do everything we say and then some more. Commit to this, focus on it, and you will build a massively successful business. Be willing to take risks. There's a whole sort of mantra of entrepreneurship is that to get the big results, you have to be willing to take risks. There's no other way about it. You don't get big results in life. It's just a law of life. You don't get big results without taking some risk because those risks are what normal people do not do. They aren't like you and I. They aren't entrepreneurs. They aren't willing to go out there and risk everything they've got to make something work and to build something successful. You have to be willing to do that, and you have to be willing to do it right now. This is what's going to get you some massive results. Also, build partnerships. This is a huge, huge thing in business. It's been one of my greatest contributors to success. I know Jason's made lots and lots of money off of partnerships. Do the same thing here. It cuts down the workload, it cuts down speed of implementation, it increases the magnitude of your success. Start meeting other people. You're surrounded by some extremely successful people here. Start building partnerships. See what you can do for other people. That's going to pay back in droves. See what you can do for other people. Help other people. Put your name out there, and you're going to see this business absolutely explode for you. Also, another thing is that a lot of people don't like to talk about is be willing to fail. You may call a supplier and they may be like, yeah, we don't even have that product, or no, you have to order this number of quantity. Be willing to call them, first of all. Second off, be willing to say, okay, I've got this other supplier that says they'll do this. That first supplier may say no. I mean, who cares? It doesn't matter. Be willing to take risks. Be willing to fail. That's how you're going to get the biggest and best results. Trust me, the people that fail the most, whether it's calling suppliers, picking out product opportunities, not everything's going to work out. People that apply different marketing strategies that we teach, people that do all that stuff the most are the ones who are going to be the most successful. And I know that can be you. So be willing to do all these things, and you will see you'll probably far exceed the goals we have outlined for you. But our goal, making sales by week 4, big profits by week 8, we're going to ramp this thing up so fast for you, but you have to be willing to do these other things.
Now this video really sets the foundation for the entire rest of the training course because it teaches you exactly why we're focusing on private labeling. We launched a course called Amazon Money Machine in 2012. This course alone produced multiple millionaires. Interesting thing happened though, is that course had other business models in it. It wasn't just private labeling like this one is. But with all the success my students were having, some of them making $500,000 a month, every single one of my most successful students, including myself, were making the majority of our money from one business model, private labeling, which in a nutshell is creating your own product brand, and in this case, selling it on Amazon. So why private labeling? First off is that you're building a real business. What I mean by real business is that, number one, it's sustainable. It's not going to go away next month like some internet marketing trick. Most conventional internet marketing training is teaching you how to take advantage of a short-term loophole in the system, more or less, and make money for a couple months, basically. What you're going to learn in this training course is building you real assets that you can use for years and years and years to come and potentially sell down the road or turn into a much larger enterprise or product brand. Now, the second criteria of a real business is that it's scalable. It's not something that you build one blog and you hope that it does well, but it's not really a strategy that can be scaled out because you've tapped out the entire market. The strategies you're learning in this training course can be used for any product on Amazon, even outside of Amazon, which is a really cool thing we're going to get into in Module 8, where I start teaching you how to take everything you've learned about Amazon, how to take the assets you've built on Amazon, and expand that to a much, much bigger picture. Now, the third criteria of a real business is that it can be delegated. It doesn't mean that you necessarily want to have, an internet lifestyle where you go and live on a beach and your business just sits there. Chances are, if you do that the wrong way, your business will start to deteriorate, even with a good business model like this. But what I mean by it can be delegated is that once you get this business set up right, using these tricks and strategies that I'm going to teach you, is that it's a business that can literally be run by anybody. There's very little involved once you get this up and running, unless you just want to take things to the moon and keep growing it and that sort of thing. But to actually run this business once you set it up requires very little involvement. And that's the third criteria of a real business, is that somebody else can do it, either to allow you to have free time doing whatever you want or allow you to expand the business even further. So the two main assets you're going to be building with this model in your real business, your real product brand. First one is a customer list. Now, contrary to what most people think, when you're building a customer list on Amazon, you can market to those people, and I'll teach you exactly how to do that in Module 8. The second asset you're building is your product brand itself. What's an interesting thing happened is once you start getting a product doing extremely well on Amazon, you start getting lots of interest even outside of Amazon because all of a sudden you have a leading authoritative position on the world's largest online retailer. So people think you are a big brand. I mean, that's basically what you're building. So your product brand itself really becomes an asset. Some of my students, for example, are expanding their businesses into physical retail, stores that you are probably familiar with. And interesting thing about this is you're building a customer list and a product brand. You know how billion-dollar companies, billion-dollar brands are built like Tide and Gillette? This exact same way. They take a very good product, which is really the only way you want to do this. You take a very good product, which I'll teach you how to find, and you start finding one avenue that works very well. A lot of them, it's big media advertising, TV, that sort of thing. But I'm going to teach you exactly how to do it with Amazon, and then you can expand it however far you want, because you can take that brand, you can say, hey, here's my brand that's doing extremely well on Amazon. I want to start selling this in your store or on your website, or I'll start wholesaling to you. Those are the really cool things and the big picture things you're going to learn about in Module 8. So what you'll learn in the next 8 weeks will not go away or be outdated by next year. This knowledge and skill set will be useful for the next 10 or 20 years. One thing I want you to think about before we really dive into the core parts of this training is why you're here, why you've decided to join this membership. One big reason that comes time and time again from my students is they want freedom in their lifestyles. Not only financial freedom, but the freedom to do what they want, when they want, how they want, especially with regards to making money and running their own business. A lot of you all are probably working jobs right now, maybe working 40, 50, 60 hours a week to make 3 grand, 4 grand, 5 grand, or even 10 grand or more, some people, but you still want to be able to do something you love and do it whenever, however you want, while you're traveling or while you're hanging out with your kids. Now, another big reason is some of you may have big financial goals. You may want to become a millionaire or multimillionaire. Well, let me assure you that some of my students are already millionaires because of this exact training. They've taken what you're going to learn, applied it, built their own products, built their own product brands that are worth millions and millions of dollars. And the cool part about it is that they're making great money in the process. Some 50, even hundreds, multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in income while building this massive multi-million-dollar product brand. So most of you all have probably heard of a little product called the Thigh Master. Big, massive infomercial product, did about $200 million in about 2 years. Now the interesting thing is that that product, like most infomercial products, spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on TV advertising with the big goal, a lot of you may not know this, the big goal of those is to get into big retailers like Walmart. Interesting thing that I'm going to teach you throughout this course is that you can use your position on Amazon, dominating your market, whatever product it is that you end up selling, dominating that on Amazon gives you the same sort of authority that those big infomercial products get from doing all that TV advertising. Because you're in the world's largest online retailer in a top-ranked position. Amazon, if you don't know, is bigger than its next 5 competitors combined, including Walmart.com. So you've built the foundation of doing extremely well on Amazon, making lots of money, having lots of fun in the process was what you're going to learn how to do in the next 8 weeks. But you combine that with what we really start getting into Module 8, which is expanding that even beyond Amazon. Retail distribution, other online sites. Once you do that, once you combine all of that together, you're not just building another way to make money, a really lucrative way to make money, but that's not all you're building. You're building a massive brand that could potentially be a multi-million, $100 million, billion-dollar brand. That's how these are built, and that's what the big goal of all of this is. Whether you do that or not, you still want to be thinking like that along the way because that's going to help you make the best decisions.
So now you're going to learn the core strategies that are going to help you throughout the rest of this amazing selling machine program and really for the rest of your life while you're selling real physical products and building a massive business with them. So use these core strategies to achieve faster results. So use these core strategies to achieve results faster. By focusing on these, you're really applying the 80-20 rule, and you'll achieve results faster than if you're just out there sort of going along. Keep these core strategies in mind, and they're going to pay off big time for you. Focus on the 20% that produces the 80% of your results. These core strategies are really what makes these businesses so successful that Jason has, that I have, that people we know have, is these small core strategies, because those are the 20% that really produces 80% of your results. We're going to teach you how to do all kinds of stuff. We're going to teach you how to really ramp things up, doing all kinds of different strategies, but make sure you always keep in mind these core strategies. Also will be a good filter for product opportunities and suppliers. You'll constantly be thinking about, okay, does this product opportunity fit the core strategies? Does this supplier help me meet those core strategies? It's going to serve as a filter for product opportunities, suppliers, and even marketing strategies. And it also is going to help you keeping from feeling overwhelmed. If you keep these core strategies in mind, you're not going to worry about what somebody else says about SEO or doing traffic or any of these kind of things. You're never going to feel overwhelmed because you're like, wait a minute. If I just go back to these core strategies, I know exactly what to do and what matters most. Everything else is just a bonus. So here are the 5 amazing selling machine core strategies. The first one is sell your own products. A lot of people, including myself, got started selling other people's products, whether that was other people's physical products through an e-commerce store or drop shipping, or whether it was somebody else's product or you're selling it as an affiliate. The big strategy here, the number one core strategy for Amazing Selling Machine, sell your own products. Build your own brand. Quit lining somebody else's pockets and start lining your own on a big scale, and let other people start selling your products. The easiest way, we're not really going to get into how to do that until later on in the course in Module 7 and 8, but the way that's going to happen automatically just by doing what we teach you in modules starting really in Module 2 all the way up until Module 6 is other Amazon affiliates are going to be selling your own product. Because you're now the product owner, you have everyone else doing all the work for you. So sell your own products. Second core strategy, differentiate your products. Don't do the same thing everyone else has done. Sometimes that may just mean different images, different title, different descriptions. But if possible, we'll talk about this more in Module 4, but if possible, add something to your product that really makes it unique. Even if you have your own brand and that kind of thing, put your own unique twist on it. That'll really help you out. It'll pay dividends. It'll allow you to get inside of people's minds even before they buy and especially after they buy and they're using your product. Third core strategy, focus on a limited number of products. I've mentioned in another video that the holy grail of this business is selling one product and it meeting all of your financial and business needs. Now, sometimes you may want to scale up beyond that. We'll teach you exactly how to do that. Or sometimes that first product may not quite be meeting it. Then you just add another product until your goals are met. But ideally, focus on the smallest number of products that produce the biggest results, because that's going to give you the biggest financial benefits from scaling those products out, purchasing more and more at a time, and getting better profits. And it's also going to allow you to really minimize overhead and minimize any sort of management, managing inventory, any of that kind of stuff. It's going to minimize your operations basically by focusing on a limited number of products. Fourth core strategy, do more than your competition. Most people on Amazon have no idea what they're doing. They're kind of just throwing stuff up there and hoping that it works out. You, by nature of just being here, you're already doing more than your competition. Now go a step further and apply the heck out of the stuff you learn about how to build out your product listing, about how to market your product listing, about how to do stuff outside of Amazon that nobody else is doing, about how to differentiate your product, about how to provide better customer service, which builds you more reviews and gets you more sales. Do more than your competition. And the fifth and final core strategy of the Amazing Selling Machine is automate as much as possible. We're doing a lot of this for you. A lot of it we've had to figure this stuff out on our own, and we're either manually doing it or we're outsourcing it. But things like, follow-up emails and doing different marketing tactics and those kind of things, with the tools that you're getting access to, pretty much a lot of that is already automated, but keep focusing on automating as much as possible and also delegating. When you get to the point where your business is up and humming, it's not in your best interest to have to manage every little tiny customer message or anything like that. It's good to know what's going on and it's good to know the process at first, but think about delegating later on. But ideally, you automate everything, but some things can't be automated, but try to automate as much as possible. That's going to allow you to focus on the things that really grow your business, which is marketing, managing your inventory, and eventually adding new products. But remember, you want to keep that limited with core strategy number 3. So these are the 5 core strategies to keep in mind. You may even want to write them down right now just so that they're ingrained in your mind. These are the 5 core strategies for Amazing Selling Machine that you're going to use to build a massively successful business selling real products by leveraging the power of Amazon.
So to sell on Amazon, you need an account at what's called Amazon Seller Central. This is the account you actually sell physical products on with Amazon. You can sign up by just going to sellercentral.amazon.com, and we'll have a whole video teaching you exactly how to quickly get set up with that. So what you can do with Seller Central is you can actually sell just about any sort of physical product. You can sell physical books, but we're going to obviously focus on selling different kinds of physical products in the thousands and thousands of different categories Amazon has. So you need this, really, unless you're a wholesaler and somebody else is selling products for you. If you're the one selling the products on Amazon, you have to have this sort of account. A quick tip is that you're really going to want to keep this account separate from anything else you're doing on Amazon. Amazon, there's a lot of different accounts you can have. You can have an account to sell Kindle books. You can have your own personal account you use to shop and buy stuff on Amazon. You can have an Amazon Associates affiliate account. My recommendation is to keep this separate from everything. You can use the same email. I recommend using a different email just so everything is completely separate. So the items you need to get set up to sell with Seller Central, first off, you need an email. This is going to be an email you use that Amazon's going to send you emails with different information about your account. You can receive order notifications, you can receive emails from customers, which the customer service email can actually be a different one. It can be the same one, but first off, you need an email. Second off, you need some sort of bank account. Now, if you're outside of the US, you're going to want to go to, right after this video, go to the video we have on getting set up from outside the US, because that walks through all the interesting things you can do to get set up selling on Amazon no matter where you are. But if you're in the US, you can just set up with a basic bank account. You need an address. Now, if you are receiving shipments, that kind of thing, you're going to need an address for that, but you obviously need a billing address. Every once in a while, you may receive a customer return. You kind of need to be able to receive those at some sort of address as well. You need a seller name. In the video we have on when I walk you through exactly how to get set up, I'll tell you a little bit more about the nuances of your actual seller name. You need some sort of phone number. Every once in a while, it helps to be able to just pick up the phone and call Amazon. They have a really easy way of doing that. A lot faster, a lot more hands-on. You can learn a lot faster than just typing them an email. So you don't want some sort of phone number you can use to communicate with them. Lastly, you need some sort of credit card. Now, this is really just for the $39.99 a month plan that you're going to be signing up for, and very well after, you may never actually have to have that charged on a credit card, because right now Amazon has, for their professional account, a free 1-month trial, and once you get set up and running, that $39 a month is actually just going to be deducted from what you're selling in products. And the only other thing you really need is, it's not a necessity, but in my opinion, it's the best way to do it, and just about everyone I know has a company they use to sell their Amazon stuff. Not completely needed, but it just helps. I recommend, selling it through an LLC. If you set one up, in the United States, just about any state you can do that at. You don't have to have it, but, if you have it, that's great. Or if you think about setting it up later on, just set up a basic company, an LLC, and that's really the only other thing you need. So in the next video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to get set up with Seller Central. I'm literally going to show you my screen while I set up a dummy account. But one thing you need to remember, if you're outside of the US, don't watch that video first. Go ahead and jump over to the video that teaches you how to get set up selling on Amazon.com when you're outside of the US. Just about any country on the planet, we have you covered. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the bare bones of setting up your Seller Central account. Now later on, we're going to cover more detailed things such as how to run reports, how to add products, and that sort of thing. But right now, literally just setting up your account so that you'll be ready when we get to those later modules.
So to get started selling on Amazon, you first need to set up a Seller Central account. Now this you can get to by just going to sellercentral.amazon.com. And you'll end up at this screen. Now, as you can see, you can sign into your account once you've set it up just by entering your email address and password here. But since you're not already selling on Amazon, you're just going to go here and click the Register Now link, which will take you to this screen. And on this screen, you'll be able to choose your option and get set up to sell on Amazon. Now, trust me, you're going to want to choose this option, Sell Professionally. You're going to click the Start Selling button. Now, you actually get a month free. The difference between these two, in terms of price, is this one is $39.99 a month plus the other selling fee. Other selling fees is Amazon takes a percentage whenever you sell stuff on Amazon. Pretty standard, no way to avoid that. Now, this option is 99 cents per sale, and you can only sell 40 items a month, and you avoid this $39.99 a month fee. So there doesn't have that. But believe me, the only way you're going to be able to do everything I teach you is if you click Sell Professionally. So don't waste your time doing this. Trust me, this is not going to matter at all. So you're just going to go under Sell Professionally, click Start Selling. Then you're going to end up at this screen. As you can see, it says Register and Start Selling Today. Now, this is for people located in the United States, and even if you're outside of the United States, I'll teach you how to get set up with all of that in another video in this module. So don't worry, if you need to come back to this video, that's perfectly fine. But once you're ready to go, you're just going to start filling out this information. So first off, I've just made up an email. So John Smith 2276 @mail.com. And so as far as this email goes, you want this to be separate, in my opinion, from anything else you're doing on Amazon. Whether you have a personal account where you buy stuff on Amazon, whether you have a Kindle account where you may sell Kindle books, or maybe you do some sort of Amazon affiliate marketing with Amazon associates, you want this email to be separate from everything else, just to keep things separate. It helps with a lot of things down the road. So, but the good thing is you can always change this later, because this email address and this password is going to be what you use to sign into your Seller Central account, but that stuff can actually be changed whenever you want. So for now, just enter an email, enter a password, and remember you can change this later. Now, another thing to think about is if you are setting up a separate business just to sell stuff on Amazon, this could be whatever that business name is. johnsonlineretail.com. So you can have that sort of email, could be support@johnsonlineretail.com. But, like I said, you could change this whenever you want, and you can also specify different emails for receiving order notifications, customer service emails. Those can actually be completely separate from this. So it's not a big deal. Just enter something here and then create a password and you'll be ready to go. Now, legal name, if you have a business, you're going to want to enter the business name here. Like I said, John's Online Retail LLC. Now, if you don't, and you're just receiving payments under your own name, being paid directly to you, and you're just going to, I guess, pay taxes on that later, then you would enter your own name. So you can obviously change this stuff later as well, but you want to make sure that you enter this correctly. So if you're entering it on behalf of a business name, registering as an individual, enter your individual's name. Then you click this button and click continue. By the way, one thing over here says fulfillment by Amazon. You want to leave that on there. There's no, like it says, no monthly subscription fee, but that is going to be critical later on. So click continue. So now you're on this screen. It says, welcome John Smith. You are registered with Amazon Seller Central. Confirmation email has been sent into the email that I entered on the screen before. So now you're going to need to enter this bit of information. First off is your display name. Your display name is the name that's actually shown on Amazon whenever you're selling products. Now this does not have to be your brand name of your products. I actually recommend that it's not your brand name of your products and that it's just a general name for your Amazon business. So you're just going to want to enter something here. This can be changed later. It's not a huge deal. It can be changed basically whenever you want. And so you're going to want to enter something here that ideally kind of matches the market you're going to be in. Now, if you don't know, I mean, that's a perfect reason why you're going to want to change it later. So, for example, if you want to sell electronics, you don't want it to be, John's Holistic Care Seller or something like that, because it doesn't really match the market. But if you don't know what product you're going to get into now, which most of you probably don't, just enter anything here. It doesn't really matter. John Smith Online, whatever. And then you're going to enter your address, city, state, and the rest of this information here. All right, so I've just entered some fake information here just for the purposes of this video. So you're going to want to enter your business or home address if you're doing this out of your home. So address and the rest of that information here, and click Save and Continue. And now you're at this step, which requires you to enter credit card information. The reason it wants you to enter this is for that $39.99 a month fee that is actually going to be free for the first month, but you have to enter your credit card information here to be able to cover that. So obviously if you need to change the billing address, do that, and you can go ahead and enter the information here. Now I believe you can actually use a prepaid credit card to do this little bit of information. So if you want to do that, that's an option. Otherwise, just enter any sort of credit card or debit card number and you can get past this step. And then this next step, a bit of this is changing. I mean, this did not actually used to be required, but it apparently is now. So identity verification. So you're just going to make sure that they can verify through a phone number, through a call, or text message. They just don't want people, setting up accounts in bulk and doing all that kind of stuff. So just go ahead and get this verified so you can move past this step as well. So then in this step, they're basically just going to get the information regarding your business, or if you've chosen to enter your personal information, they're going to gather your personal information to be able to track their own tax liability and just to be able to pay you for your payments that you receive on Amazon. So I'm not going to walk you through this whole thing, but you would just click Launch Interview Wizard and they'll just ask you basic information that's required for setting up your business or personal information to receive payments in Amazon. So once you finish entering all the information they want, as you can see, I didn't finish entering charge method, identity verification, tax identity information because this is a dummy account. So those items would obviously, I've done 2 out of the 5, so it's 40%. So you'd obviously want to get to 100% to be able to finish this process and then click continue and you'll have access to your live Seller Central account. And that is really all you need to do right now. There's tons of stuff inside your Seller Central account. We'll cover more about that later, looking at products, processing orders, all those different kind of things. It's built for people who know absolutely nothing about online marketing, running an online business, which I'm sure most of you all are a few steps ahead of those people. But either way, it's all very easy to use, but you don't need to worry about all of that right now. It's just a matter of getting this set up so that then you can move to the next steps of researching products, and then once you find a good product and supplier and all that we're going to be covering, you can actually add those products to your Seller Central account.
This video is going to be all about getting set up from outside the USA. If you are living outside the USA, it is not really that difficult to get set up to sell on Amazon.com. I'm going to show you what you need to do in this and the next videos, and as I said, it is really not that difficult. It does depend where you live, obviously, so let's cover that before we go any further. If you look below this video, you will see a list of countries. If you reside or have a bank account in any of these countries, then you do not really need to do anything different. Essentially, they are the United States, the United Kingdom, and any European country that uses the euro. And the really good news is, in the past few weeks, Amazon have actually now started supporting bank accounts in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, India, and Hong Kong. If you are in these countries, you can follow the steps in Matt's previous video. Just use your home country address, credit card, and bank details. If you are not in any of those countries listed below, then things are a little different and you need to use one of the following methods. The most important thing you are going to need is a bank account that can receive your bi-weekly payments from Amazon. And you will also need a credit card or debit card to pay your monthly Amazon seller fees, at least until you have a balance in your Seller Central account. So, providing a bank account. The first way you can get an Amazon acceptable bank account is to ask one of your local banks if they can open a US bank account for you. This must be a US based bank account and not a US funds account. There are a number of banks that can do this for you. One of the most common international banks that can do this for you is the HSBC bank. But just call your local banks and ask them if they can set up a US based account for you. If you can open a US based bank account with any local bank, you'll be good to go and don't need to use the services mentioned next. If you do not have a local bank that can provide this service for you, then there are 2 more options. These 2 options are third-party services that basically equip you with a bank account number that you can use in Amazon Seller Central. These 2 services are Payoneer and World First. Payoneer is essentially a debit card that comes with a bank account number, and World First is a currency company that also provides you with a usable bank account number. Video training covering these two services follows this one, so if that is the option you need to use, make sure you watch those videos. However, it is worth noting that Payoneer will not work if you are selling supplements. So if that is the type of product you are going with, choose the World First option. The only other issue you might come across is your country might not be in the drop-down when adding your address or credit card. Once again, this is not something to be too concerned about. There are ways around it. The easiest way is to get a US address, and this can be done using a service called Earth Class Mail. Look below this video and we have provided a coupon to get 90 days absolutely free. There are other methods, but rather than make this video way too long, we have a dedicated area in the forum called Getting Set Up from Outside the USA. In that area we have solutions for a host of different countries, from us and from members from those countries themselves. The most important thing with this process is not to panic if you have difficulties. We have not had anyone fail to get set up with their seller account from any country. So take action, figure out what method applies to your country and start getting it set up so you can get your seller account set up as soon as possible. Any problems at all, go visit the forum, do a search there, or ask your question, and I will be watching that section personally to make sure you get all the help you need in getting this step completed. But that's it for this video. Take care. This video is going to show you how to sign up for World First and for Payoneer. Before going any further, you only need to use one of these services if you do not live or have a bank account in one of the countries mentioned under the previous video. These two services provide you with an Amazon approved bank account in slightly different ways, and if you are planning on selling supplements, you need to use World First. So let's start with World First. World First is actually a currency conversion service, but they provide you with a bank account number you can use to be paid by Amazon. They then convert the dollar payment from Amazon into your local currency and pay it into your local bank. Payoneer? Payoneer is a slightly different setup. They provide you with a debit card, and that debit card is connected to a US bank account they create for you, but the account is only for paying money into. It is not a full bank account. You can then use the debit card like any other debit card, and they have now added a service where they will also transfer money to your local bank account too. The downside with Payoneer is they no longer allow payments into your account if you are only selling supplements. So if you are going into the supplement market, then definitely go with the World First option. On the plus side with Payoneer, your payments remain in US dollars on your card, so you won't get charged for any exchange. So I will now show you how to get set up with these services, but it's pretty straightforward, just like opening any bank account. The setup for both require proof of identity, so you have to use your real information. So let's go to my browser and I'll show you exactly what you need to do. So let's start with Payoneer. Now as you can see, we got Payoneer to create a page specially for the Amazing Selling Machine members. This makes the whole process very easy and means that they know who you are, which makes later verification easier. All you need to do when you're here is click on sign up for an account. Then just follow all the steps, and it's just like signing up for anything else, so I'm not actually going to go through everything. But basically the process is, once you've set up your account, it will take 4 to 5 days for approval. They will require a photo ID, which you can just photocopy and send to them, or scan it and send to them. And there will be a short questionnaire. On that questionnaire there is a question asking you where you are going to be making your money. All you need to say is you are just starting with the Amazing Selling Machine and you will be selling on Amazon, and this will bypass any problems. However, if you get any problems at all, please go to the forum area specifically for setting up from outside the US and see if there's an answer to your question there, or if not, post the question or even PM me. I will be monitoring that forum constantly to make sure everyone gets set up. And there's a link to that forum below this video. If we go to World First, you need to go to worldfirst.com. Now it might direct you to the US site, UK site, but you need to go to worldfirst.com with nothing after it. You can normally do that by clicking on their icon. You want it to be worldfirst.com with nothing after it. Then all you need to do is click on e-commerce up here in the top right, and when you open that page, you want to scroll down and click on register now. Then in the drop down, you just need to choose the option that's applicable to you. What you'll notice here is these names for different types of businesses are actually UK versions. If you're an individual selling, you just want to select sole trader, And if you've got an LLC already set up, then choose Private Limited. Once you select one of those, for instance, if I had an LLC, I'd just select Private Limited and then go ahead and fill out all the information. Again, you will need to provide them with a copy of a photo ID to prove your address. Both Payoneer and World First have very good support, and the support for World First is actually exceptional. You can contact them by phone or by email. If you're going to contact World First, I suggest you use the phone. But basically that's it. That's how you get set up with these two services. It's very straightforward, and they will walk you through the process. Again, if you've got any kind of problems, please do go post in the forum or contact me via private message directly, and I'll get you sorted out. With Payoneer, we've actually developed a very good relationship with one of their staff, and he is absolutely fantastic at helping people out who have problems. So that's it. Take action, go out, get your bank account set up with one of these two services, and you'll be ready to move on to the next stage. But that's it for this video. Take care.
So this video is not going to apply to everybody. If you're just getting started with Amazon, don't even worry about this. You don't really need to watch this. This is just for those people that I've talked to already that have had an Amazon Seller Central account in the past banned or suspended or permanently terminated. Now, this could have happened for a lot of different reasons. Maybe there was, some supplier issues. Maybe you're using a drop shipper who you couldn't control the fulfillment and they were messing stuff up, and then that ended up getting your account in trouble. Maybe you didn't know you're supposed to do customer service and respond to people's messages fast. You weren't entering tracking numbers. There are a few different reasons that Amazon Seller Central accounts can get suspended. It can happen. It doesn't happen if you do what we teach, which is why I say that if this is not your situation, don't worry about this. It doesn't really apply. If it ever does happen, you have this video as a resource. For the people that have had this happen, this is for you. So first off, you want to make sure you don't repeat the same mistakes. Whatever you do with your new account, do not do what you did with your old one because you already know that can get you in trouble. So obviously do not repeat the same mistakes, otherwise you're just wasting your time. It's really easy to avoid suspension. Just do what we teach. Use fulfillment by Amazon. Sell products Amazon likes. Do the right things. Treat customers right. If you do all that stuff right and you're not doing drop shipping, any of those kind of things, it's pretty easy to avoid suspension. And another thing to think about is something you're just going to have to face is that if you have a suspended or terminated Amazon account, you likely will not get it back. Feel free, as a first resort, go ahead and email them, plead to them, do all that kind of stuff. Amazon, you likely will not get it back. So here's how to set up a new Seller Central account for people that have had one suspended. So here's what you need. First off, you're going to need different information for this account. You have to keep everything separate. Amazon, in all honesty, does not really want you doing this. They don't want you setting up a new Seller Central account. But I know that you just want to get back up and running. You want to do the right things. You want to build this massively successful business. So here's how to get back in the game. You're going to need a new email address and phone number. Email address, easy. Use Gmail, set up a new domain, set up an email address there, whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. New email address. Phone number. You're going to have to verify your account likely or talk to Amazon at some point, which is not a big deal. It's just typical account setup stuff. For that, you don't want to use the same phone number as your old account. You don't want any of the information to be the same. So you can get a free phone number from Google Voice just to do the verification. You're going to need a new bank account or payment receiving method. You cannot use the same one you used before. It needs to be a different account number. Ideally, a different name on that account. For example, it could be your wife's, could be your dad's, your mom's, any of that kind of stuff. Just ideally a new bank account, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a different name, but you want it to be a different name if possible. A new credit card. You can just get a prepaid credit card or use a different one that you used before. This is just for the $40 a month thing that you get a free trial for, and you honestly will never have to pay will never have to pay through a credit card because it automatically comes out of your account. But you're going to want to use a different credit card than you used last time. You want to use a different address. So you want all the information to be different. You can use Earth Class Mail. We have a free trial included for all members. So you can use Earth Class Mail. There'll be the coupon code below this video. Then you want a different name on the seller account. You don't want to use your same personal name. You don't want to use the same business name. You want all that stuff to be different. So different name on your new Seller Central account. And this is very important. You want different IP address and a different computer. because Amazon seems to be able to track MAC address. I've talked with some people who said, that's not possible, and some people say, yeah, they can definitely do that. So I don't really know. I'm not a super techie person myself, but just best to be safe because big money is on the line here with what we teach. So use a different IP address. If you just want to keep accessing it from your home, just get a different router and that'll change your IP address or change internet service providers. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. You can get one of the little USB Wi-Fi things that plugs into your computer. You can use one of those. Just any sort of thing so you're using a different internet connection. Or if you used to do stuff from a different office and you're now doing it from your home and you never accessed it from your home before, then it's not going to be a problem. Different computer, you can just use a different computer than you ever used to access your account before, whether it's a different computer you own, somebody you know owns, or you could buy like a $200 laptop from the store. Either way, just use a different computer, different IP address. A few tips. You want to be disciplined with accessing your account. Do not cross with old account. Meaning if you accessed it from a certain computer before, don't use that this time. If you accessed it from a certain internet location before, don't do that this time. Don't forward new account emails to the same email as your old account. You want to keep everything separate. Like I, for example, check everything from my Gmail account. You want to make sure that if you're setting up a new account, that you don't just forward everything to your Gmail account. Literally keep everything separate. Don't sell the exact same products. If you had one product that was under one brand and you were the only person selling it before and your account got suspended, then all of a sudden they see a new account pop up that has that one brand, one product, and nothing else. It looks a little fishy, so don't sell the same exact products before. Change the brand, sell different products, do whatever you have to do. A little bit of extra security is below this video. You'll find a link to be able to set up a remote desktop. All this is like a computer you can use in the cloud. So you can access it from a Mac or a PC, and you can just log in and use that only for your Amazon account. I actually do this for my stuff just to keep everything safe, but you can use this if you want. Don't make the same mistakes as last time. You really want to be in this for the long run. Do things right. Sell good products. Ship them on time. Use FBA so you don't even have to worry about that. Treat Amazon customers well. Do good customer service. Do all these things, and you're really in this for the long term. I mean, Jason and I have all had all kinds of issues online. You know, AdWords accounts getting suspended, AdSense trouble. I mean, it just happens. You push the limits too far, and you end up getting in trouble. But it's not something you really want to do. It's not a good strategy. All this like black hat stuff and pushing the limits, it's really not worth it in the long run. That's short-term thinking. You want to be in this for the long run to make big money, not just short-term profits. And get started right now. Don't be afraid by this. It's really easy to do. Just go back through this video, do those different things that need to be new. It's not a big deal. You can do this. It's pretty easy. Just make sure you keep everything separate and you will be back up and running. Just be disciplined. Don't access it from any of the old stuff. Don't use any of the same account information. And you can really get back up and running with Seller Central and take advantage of everything this program has to offer. It's actually really easy to do. So go do it right now before you do anything else, because that's what Module 1 is all about. Getting you in the game, or in your case, getting you back in the game. So now it's time for a critical action step that shows that you are an action taker, that you're here to get results out of this program. And now it's also time for you to earn your Seller Central Setup Badge. So here's what the badge looks like. So what you're going to do is that, by the time you get to this video, you should have set up your Seller Central account. Now, whether you're coming from outside of the US or inside of the US, maybe, it may take some people a little longer than other people to get set up, which is why you have an entire module that allows you time to get set up with Seller Central. And you can have some other stuff you have to do that you can get some ton of value from. But then Module 2 really builds on Module 1, but you have to have a Seller Central account set up. So hopefully you've done that by now. Hopefully you're not just going through these videos and getting information and not doing anything. That does you no good. So to award you for taking action, for setting up your Seller Central account and not moving forward until that thing is done, here's where the badge is going to show up. As you can see, here's my forum profile. I have a couple badges. You can click on mine if you find me on there and find out what that other one is. But there's the Seller Central Setup Badge. You see the little A there? That'll show up there. It'll have a clickable description so everyone can see that you're in the game, that you're not just here to get information. You're here to actually take action, that you are now an Amazon seller. This is going to help you build more relationships, build more partnerships, and get more value out of this. So why this badge is important? It lets your fellow members know that you're in the game. You're not somebody who's sitting on the sidelines, hoping that somebody else gives them something. You're in the game. You set up your Seller Central account. You're ready to sell on Amazon. You're going to be going alongside everyone else in this program. So let your fellow members know that. And it signifies the first major milestone of this business. It doesn't matter if you find a product, doesn't matter if you find a supplier, none of that stuff matters until you set up your Seller Central account. So that's what this is all about. It's the first major milestone of building this business. Seems like a small step, but it's a huge step because most people in life, they just don't show up. You've showed up, you've done the first step, you're ready to go. And it proves that you're breaking the cycle. Remember, this is not the first time I've talked about this. A lot of people in this market, they take in a bunch of information, never do anything with it. This shows that you're not doing that. You've started early, you started fast, you've got your Seller Central account set up, you're ready to take some more action. So how to gain the Seller Central Setup Badge? First off, obviously set up your Amazon Seller Central account. Then take a screenshot of your account info screen. Just go to settings, click on account info. Just take a screenshot of it. Then fill out the survey below this video, and upload your screenshot. And then await moderation and check out your shiny new badge. Now these screenshots are just going to be deleted. We could care less about your account info. We just want to make sure that you've actually done this step to earn your Seller Central badge. So then once we moderate, those are all being manually moderated because they're a screenshot, then the screenshots will be deleted and you'll get your shiny new Seller Central setup badge for everyone to see. So go ahead, do this right now. This is the first of 3 niche research videos for Module 1. This one is all about categories to avoid selling products on Amazon. So first, the key to fast results. Trust the system. Now, we know what we're doing. Obviously, we've done extremely well with our own businesses. We've taught other people how to do this that have also done extremely well with this. We know what we're doing on Amazon. Trust the system. Don't question everything that we do. Don't wonder, does this make sense? Is this the right thing to do? I mean, it's always good to sort of evaluate what you're learning and determine if it's the best thing for you, but trust us. We know exactly what we're doing. We know how to get you results. This is a proven system. There are massive opportunities, so trust the system. And don't waste time with opportunities that may work. If we tell you there, like on the next slide, I'm going to show you some categories that don't really want to waste your time in. Don't think that, oh, I could probably make that work for myself, or oh, I've heard somebody else doing well with this. Trust us, we know what we're doing. Do not waste time with opportunities that may work. That's a recipe for failure. That's going to really inhibit your growth and success with this program. I know there are thousands of products to sell, but there are some very key products not to sell. Whether or not you already have an existing business selling these, or you're just thinking about something to sell, you highly want to consider finding a different product to sell than these ones. So avoid these categories for fast and easy profits. These are actually Amazon categories. Kindle ebooks. I've taught people how to sell Kindle ebooks. I've sold a lot of Kindle ebooks myself, but the volume on Kindle pales in comparison in terms of profit to what's possible with physical products. Kindle ebooks, the number of people making $10,000 a month, a number of books making $10,000 or more a month in royalties on Kindle is less than 100. It's probably less than 20. On physical products, there are thousands and thousands of products making $10,000 in profit each and every month. The profit potential in physical products is just so much bigger than Kindle ebooks. Same thing goes with books. Books, the whole thing is people don't write books to make money. Some people do okay. But if you want fast and easy results, do not sell books. Focus on the physical product side that we're going to get more into in Module 2. MP3s obviously don't make sense. Software, a lot of people, can I sell this software package? Maybe. Is that the best thing for this? No, not whatsoever. Focus on real physical products. Those are the biggest opportunities on Amazon. Magazines, a whole other one that not a lot of people will have thought of, but it's obviously one big one to avoid on Amazon. And apps. There may be some great opportunities for selling apps outside of Amazon, on Amazon, but trust me, that's not what you want to focus on for this business model. For this business model, you want to be selling real physical products because that's where you'll find the easiest success, it's where you'll find the fastest success, it's where you find the greatest scalability whenever we get to that in Module 7. All the marketing stuff that we're going to give you in Module 4 and Module 5 will apply most will apply the best to physical products. Now, another thing to think about as far as it's not necessarily a category, but you don't want to be selling other people's products. That sort of goes with the game. You don't want to be out there selling other people's dropship products, any of that kind of stuff. People ask, oh, can I do it for that? Yeah, most of what we'll teach you will work for that, but is that the best thing to use it on if you want to build massive profits? No, not at all. Sell your own brand, sell your own physical products, and you will see the massive results that'll start coming to you. So this is the second niche research video for module 1. So something to think about is that like we're going to dive into all this stuff in extreme detail in the coming up modules. This is just to give you a good solid overview of what to expect. It gives you a good foundation of knowledge to be able to really be prepared for module 2, module 3, and so forth. And it also gives you some good solid fundamentals based off of all of my experience, all of Jason's experience, and the experience of people that we know and have helped. So this is just some good solid fundamentals for you to know. So the second video is all about high competition versus low competition products. It's a big question people often have. So which one can make you more money? Being one seller among many in a crowded market, or being one of only a few sellers in a less crowded market? Which one can make you more money? It depends, but for physical products, especially for new entrepreneurs, a high competition market is better. Now this may seem a little counterintuitive. You're like, wait a minute, if I'm just if I'm just starting out with this sort of thing, why would I pick something high competition? How does that make any sense? If it's people that have been there longer, they would be the ones who'd be more ready to take on the higher competition. Not the case. First off, there's higher upside potential in that high competition market. You could do well just being one of the middle of the ground sellers, but then once you start really ramping things up, there's so much upside potential that just doesn't exist for low competition products. And it also allows you to have better focus. With a high competition market and the high upside potential, you don't have to have a bunch of different products. You can have one product that can absolutely be blowing it out of the water for you, meeting every financial goal you possibly have with one product. This allows you to have better focus with limited resources. You don't need a bunch of staff to manage one product. If you have a bunch of products, even if they're low competition markets, a bunch of products that requires extra management, extra headaches. So one product is actually better. And you're in the amazing selling machine. You have an advantage here that nobody else has. You have access to tools. You have access to Jason and I. All this sort of stuff, and the amazing community here of successful people all doing the same business model as you. This is a huge advantage for you. You're absolutely going to crush it because you're here. So here's more about your ASM advantage. First off, you could pick the highest competition products and do well. We'll teach you how to pick the most competitive products on Amazon and absolutely dominate, because what we're going to show you, what we're teaching you, this sort of stuff works. It works hands down, and it's extremely powerful, especially once we start getting into modules 5 and module 6. When we really start ramping up your promotion, we have to get everyone in the game up until then. We have to make sure you have a Seller Central account, make sure you have a product, make sure you have a supplier. When we start applying the really high-level promotion stuff, that's when you're going to see, man, I'm glad I picked a high competition product, because there's just so much profit to be made here when you actually know what you're doing with the marketing side, which is what we're basically handing over to you and teaching you how to do. Also, like I said, the training strategies, tools, and automation. Big things there, tools and automation. This sort of stuff does not exist anywhere else. These aren't tools anybody can sign up for, any of that kind of thing. They're proprietary to our membership. It's a huge advantage for you. So do not pick the long tail. If you're not familiar with that, long tail is a term that really got popularized by a guy named Chris Anderson, who was talking about, how much money people are making on the long tail, whether it's targeting long tail keywords for SEO, or it's Amazon selling long tail products because they have digital distribution. It's being able to sell 1 unit, 2 units, sporadically of a million different products. He was saying that this is a new wave, it's a great business model, etc., etc. Not for this course. Trust me, the most successful people I know with physical products have an extremely limited number of products. 1 is generally the number, maybe 2, maybe up to 5, but that's the best way to absolutely dominate. So do not pick the long tail, pick something competitive. Once again, because picking the long tail, those low competition products, there's just limited upside potential. And you need multiple products to make the same amount of money. You may need 5 products that are low competition to make the same exact amount of money with really no additional work, actually less work, with one high competition product. And you have to manage multiple products in inventory. That can become a little bit of a headache, much easier to keep track of just one product. You also get the reduced cost saving advantage from buying one product in bulk. If you're splitting your focus between a bunch of different products, that means you're not focusing on one individual product. If you put all your focus and effort into one individual product, you're going to start ramping that thing up, and the more volume you do, the better prices you'll get. So that means the more profit you'll make per every single sale. It's a huge advantage of focusing on one product. For example, I know a guy who's been selling one product for the past 5 years or so. He currently sells it for $40, buys it for $2 because he kept moving up the manufacturing chain. Now that is a good profit margin. That's what we want you to start aiming for. You may never hit it. I don't have products that have that kind of profit margin, but that's something you should be aiming for. 500, 600, 700% profit. That's what we want you to achieve. There's an additional financial outlay. If you're having to sell multiple products, you're having to test different products, you're having to buy more inventory, so there's also an additional outlay. So trust me, pick high competition products. It's really the best all the way around. And there's no need to hedge your bets. We will help you pick winners. A lot of people think, oh, I want to try this product, this product, this product, because I don't know which one's going to do well. Trust me, in Module 1, we'll teach you how to pick winning products every single time. The first time and every single time. Some may do better than others, but we'll teach you how to pick winning products. There's really no need to hedge your bets, and it actually doesn't really make any sense for this business model. So choose high volume products. You still want to look for a good competitive landscape. It doesn't mean that you necessarily want to go after products that just have that it just would be too hard to compete. Whether or not it's like, the product has just overwhelming number of reviews and every other product does versus another opportunity you find out that's selling just as well but doesn't have that kind of thing going on. Obviously, go for the one that's selling just as well, but maybe it's a newer product and isn't quite as competitive as the other one. And you still use common sense here. But choose products that already sell really well. Don't try to be the first one in the market. Don't try to go after long tail products. Don't try to invent something new. Choose something that's already selling very well. More detail is going to be covered in Module 2 on picking product opportunities. We'll dive very, very deep into picking product opportunities. We'll teach you more about how to pick good, high competition products that you can still jump in there and absolutely dominate. But this is just giving you an overview. Don't think that you're going to have to go out there and manage 52 products or that that's even a good idea. The ideal business, the holy grail of this business, is having one product that absolutely dominates, that you are the market leader, that you absolutely crush it with that product. May or may not happen. You may end up having 2 or 3 products, 5 products, that sort of thing. But that is the ideal situation with this business model. So this is the third niche research video on passions, interests, and your 5 categories. So picking a product to sell. Here are 3 different ways you normally pick a product to sell. First, you find a great opportunity, which is what Module 2 is all about. We'll teach you exactly how to find incredible, hot opportunities on Amazon for products that you can private label, put your own label on, create your own brand, and really use for the rest of your life, making a ton of money in the process. So second way is sell something you already have access to. This is a way a lot of people get started in e-commerce. I know we were talking with a very, very popular marketer the other day, and he was saying that he used to literally sell swords and knight's armor online through an e-commerce store. That's how he got started. The reason he picked that kind of product, not a common thing to pick, was because he was actually working on movies at the time and just had access to them. So that's a second big way people pick products to sell. Third way, you sell something that's related to your passions and interests. You think, okay, I'm into this, topic, hobby, whatever, so I'm going to go sell something related to it because I know more about the market. So these are the 3 main ways people pick a product to sell. Find a great opportunity, sell something you already have access to, or sell something that's related to your passions and interests. So here's why selling something you like to use is a good idea. Because you'll know the differentiators that matter to consumers. So we'll teach you exactly how to just pick out any product you find, any good selling product, and do extremely well with it. But you will have an advantage if it's something that you're interested in. If you see two good opportunities, one's related to something you're interested in, one is something you could care less about or that you're just completely unrelated to you, sell the one that's something you're interested in because you'll have some advantages. The first one is you'll know the differentiators that matter to consumers. One big thing you'll learn in Module 4 is about adding differentiators to your product. Something that sets you apart, whether it's design, your title, your description, something else you throw in with the product, those kind of things that can really make all the difference in the world. You'll know what those are if you're already in the market yourself. You can create images, titles, descriptions that resonate with the audience. Like if you're part of the audience because you use the product yourself, then you'll know exactly how to relate to that audience, what that audience likes, what that audience looks for. Then you'll also be more likely to continually improve the product. If it's something that you're using, you're like, okay, I'm going to find out a way to make this a little bit better, this a little bit nicer, this a little bit easier, these instructions a little bit better, these tips a little bit more helpful. You'll be more likely to continually improve the product and really continually get better and better and better versus all of your competition who is just kind of stagnating is what people typically do. So then you also likely have friends that also use the product themselves, meaning it's an easy source of reviews. If you have friends that all already use a product related to whatever it is that you want to sell, then it's pretty easy to say, hey friends, I'm going to give you this product, it's free, please go write a review of it. Really easy sell if it's something they already like. If it's something they don't like, then they're just kind of doing it to be nice. So it's another big advantage there. So here's a quick brainstorming exercise to prepare you for Module 2, which is all about finding a good product opportunity. Now, like I said, it doesn't have to be something. It could just be any product opportunity you find that's selling well, that meets all the criteria in Module 2. That's fine too. But if possible, try to make it overlap with yourself, something that you're interested in, something that you already use. So here's a brainstorming exercise. You're going to want to write the answers to each one of these down. First off, what have you bought in the last 30 days? Probably want to take out basic stuff like food and that kind of thing, but what have you bought in the last 30 days? Any sort of physical product that you could potentially sell. Look around your office, look around your home, review your credit card bill. Think what you have bought in the last 30 days. That's a good indicator of stuff you're actually using. What are your passions? Do you have any hobbies? Do you have any interests? Think about those kind of things. Like an example, this is not necessarily a good private labeling example, but an example is the GoPro camera. It's the camera you can stick on yourself, stick on a hat, stick on any sort of thing to go do some crazy sports like snowboarding and mountain biking and all these kind of things. You know, it's a massively popular thing. It's $1 billion business now, all invented by a guy who had a passion for that kind of product. Now, we're not inventing stuff here and that kind of thing, but it doesn't mean that you can't get the same exact advantages by tapping into a market you're already interested in. So think about what your passions are. Think about what your interests are. Write all these things down. Write what you bought in the last 30 days, what your passions are, what your interests are, and then do this last step. From these lists, pick out 5 broad categories. Maybe it's health, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's you like decorating, maybe it's any number of different things. Maybe it's technology, maybe you like technological devices, those kind of things. Pick out 5 broad categories, and this is really going to prepare you extremely well. So do this right now. It's going to prepare you extremely well for Module 2. And as you can see the little note at the bottom of the slide, you're going to want to keep this handy for when we get to Module 2 to cross-reference with the hot product opportunities you find on Amazon.